Alright. Well, happy Wednesday morning to you all. It's steamy out here, and it was very overcast this morning. The sun didn't really come out until maybe 10-15 minutes ago. We had quite a bit of overcast. Anywho, I might get rained on this afternoon, but I do have my lightweight rain suit in the backpack behind me. And I put the signals, LED signals, on my Hunter last night. Did it in the dark so I could have kind of an easy comparison for what they look like in the evening. I also replaced my halogen headlight with an LED and the little marker lamp that's below it there. I don't know if that shows up on camera. I like the color of this bulb, but I'm not real happy with the high beam spread on it. It seems to be a little bit more confined than the original halogen. Low beam is great, and that housing is fantastic because it's got a very flat cutoff, so if you get a really bright bulb, it's not going to glare up in somebody's eyes. So it's a good setup. Anyway, these are the Royal Enfield signals. Putting them on was a little more of a challenge than I thought. You got to totally pull the rear fender out of there in order to get to the wiring and do all the stuff, because all the bolts are hidden between the inner fender and outer fender. The front, you have to pull the whole headlight bucket apart and remove the bucket in order to get to the bolts that secure the turn signals. So it's not hard, it's just tedious. It was a lot of wrangling to get them in and out of there. But anyway, and then this morning I tried to put my bar risers on, but they do not fit, or at least the bolts don't fit. So I'll get a different set of bar risers. They're not Royal Enfield brand, they're just some generic ones that I picked up on Amazon. I liked them because they're a little bit of a lift and back, but setback risers, but they didn't work out. So anyway, I gotta get going. I'm sweating, it's hot. Let's get out on the road. So this might be my last opportunity to ride the Hunter for the next few days. It seems like we've got rain in the forecast for about 3 days. I mean, I could ride in the rain, but don't really like subjecting myself to that intentionally if I've got to do it in rush hour traffic, I haven't gotten very much further on my break-in miles. It's still sitting at 243. It'll be about 280 by the time today is done. I reserved the oil change and first checkup parts and everything over at Iron Supply Power Sports. They have everything in stock. Oil filter is $14 or something like that. Yeah, I think it was 14. Cylinder cover gasket is, what was it, $12.50 or something like that, so cheap. The other O-rings and stuff like that are just, a few pennies here and there. They're not much. So I think as far as the filters and the seals and everything, it's about $25-30 in parts, and then a couple quarts of oil, and that's about it. I'll do the labor myself because all the estimates that I'm getting for the first service are anywhere from $600 to $800. Nah, that's crazy. It's not that hard a job. So I'll take care of that. Hopefully, later this week, maybe that'll be a good rainy day project when the storms are rolling through over the next couple days. We need the rain, so I am not going to complain. We definitely need the rain. It's starting to cool off a little bit. We're getting a little bit lower temperatures, so our highs during the day are dropping. This week so far, I think we've been in the high 90s, so we're not 102, 104, 106 like we have been, and that makes a huge difference here. Just a couple degrees with the amount of humidity that we normally have. It's just crazy. So I'll order a different set of bar risers for this. I'd hoped that those would work because they were, inexpensive. The price really isn't what bothers me. It's the Royal Enfield ones just look rather unfinished, let's say. At least the ones that I've seen online on eBay and stuff like that. They're branded Royal Enfield, but I don't know if they're actually Royal Enfield parts. and the castings look very rough. They don't look like they're CNC machined. They look like they're cast, which I don't really understand. And then they're painted really badly. It doesn't look like an anodized part, and it doesn't match the factory finish, which is kind of a almost like header coat. You know, this is a satin, almost pebble finish on the rest of these parts. So yeah, anyway, I'll find some decent bar risers. I'd like the setback risers to lean the bars back a tiny bit, but I'll take what I can get. I could do something much bigger and funkier like rocks risers, but these are pretty small bars, and this is a tight, very simple instrument cluster area here. So I don't know if rocks risers would cause me problems because they're pretty chunky. And I think they would probably cause the bars to interfere with the key area. So that's another reason why I thought the setback risers might be nice, is to get the bars away from the key and all that and just make it a little easier. I found something interesting last night when I was working on the signals. I was going to reroute the USB wire and all that I've got coming over here to the charger, and this little cap right here, the crown nut, is not a nut, it's a cap that fits into a little recess, you know, like a plastic springy tabs that just pop in, and it was loose and rattling. I'm not real happy about that. I'll show you that later, but it was very loose, so I had to caveman hack it and put some of the packing plastic that was on these signals. It's like a sticky cellophane stuff. I just wadded it up and shoved it in the recess of that cap where the little button clip thing is, and wedged it in there. So now it doesn't wiggle, it doesn't rattle, and it's secure, but that's kind of a bodge. Little fit and finish things, nothing physical or mechanical that are problematic with this bike. No footer, no footer, no footer. All right. And of course, because I came to a complete stop, the minivan behind me about ran me over. And welcome to Houston. Everybody does California stops here, you know, the rolling stop. They never come to a complete halt. They just roll right through. I try to do it at less than walking speed, but most people blow through at 15 or 20 miles an hour. It's pretty bad. I didn't put my cruise control on here yet. I'm trying to not do that until break-in miles are done. It's one of those little mental notes, but it sure is nice to just set it so I can move my hand around. I ordered all the extra little, you know, riding accessory stuff for it. I got the Go Cruise. I ordered some shorter adjustable levers, but they're slow boating from China somewhere. They're not due in until first week of October. Goodness. I should have just ordered them from Hitchcock's, because Hitchcock's did have some. And my little cam lock for doing the valve checks and a couple of other pieces that I ordered from them arrived yesterday. So, I mean, that was, what was it, 4 days including the weekend, pretty much, or 5 days, I guess, including the weekend, because I ordered stuff, I want to say it was Thursday of last week, right when I got the bike. So 5 days. No, I ordered them Friday, that's right. So yeah, anyway, impressive. They got it out to me ASAP. Shipping's a little pricey, but you know, it is what it is. So I got the little cam lock for top dead center. I bought a oil temperature gauge that goes in the dipstick over here, or not dipstick, but the oil fill hole. And what else? I got a third thing. I don't remember what it was. Oh, a power tap that goes in the headlight bucket. So it's a splitter, like a Y splitter, to give you two switched power. It was cheap, you know. I figured, you know, $7 or $8, whatever it was. Go ahead and just throw it in there because I'm already paying shipping for everything else. But I didn't get the adjustable levers from them because I had already ordered these others, and then Amazon updated my delivery status and said that it was going to be like October 4th. What? I still haven't gotten my DNA air filter. I figured that would have been in by now, but that's another little Amazon faux pas. The seller that I purchased from said something USA, and it didn't say anything about that it was shipping from India or wherever, because I could have done that on eBay, for crying out loud. But it had like a, I don't think it was 5 to 8 day delivery time through the Amazon order, and then I got an update saying that it's held up in customs, and it's already been a week and I haven't gotten any other updates, and there are no more tracking notice information on it. So great. And it's shipping out of India, even though they said it was a USA seller. It was shipping out of India. Well, I could have ordered one from Hitchcock's. I could have ordered one from you know, anywhere else and not had to go through customs. So what is that with ordering from Amazon? It appears to be an Amazon seller. I'm on an Amazon USA site. I'm not going to Amazon India or whatever, but it's shipping out of India. Now, that's messed up. So haven't gotten any of the other pieces yet. I wasn't going to install that air filter until I have the little FuelX piggyback controller and all that other stuff anyway. So, and you know, not until it's out of break-in. I'm not going to change anything. I'm not waiting. I got people behind me, dude. The FuelX is also being delivered sometime around the beginning of October. So, whatever. It'll be a few weeks. I put out a couple of my ride vlog videos, 2 commute days. This will be actually my 3rd or 4th commute day on it, but I didn't record one of the little short runs that I did. I plan to do a full walk around, a little bit more of an in-depth review on the bike, but I wanted to get more familiar with it before I do that, just so I'm giving an educated opinion and a little bit more knowledgeable walkthrough on it than just a normal press review kind of a deal. For me, I think the owner reviews are a lot more interesting, and I'm not saying that just because I'm biased or because I'm an owner, but they give a little bit more in-depth view about what the bike is and how it is to live with. And sorry, I'm cutting you off, dude, but everybody else is stepping in front of me, and I know this guy's about to do the same thing anyway, so I'm getting out of this. The owners have a different perspective on it because it's a marriage. You know, they've got skin in the game. The ownership experience is different than just joyriding somebody else's bike for a few hours. You have different expectations on what it's going to be to live with long term, instead of just, you know, yeah, I'm out playing with it. Oh, this is neat. Oh, glowing review, all roses and yeah, whatever. And most of those test ride reviews and press reviews of bikes, you know, they're being brought there by the manufacturer, so they've got a vested interest to say nice things and not bash too badly, because they were flown out there at no cost, and they're being put up in hotels and stuff like that. So I think it's almost a conflict of interest in a way, because you're giving a weighted or biased opinion. And the roads that a lot of those test rides are done on are, you know, scenic, idyllic, back road twisty, you know, in the mountains of you know, Spain or out in California or whatever. But that's not an everyday riding case for 99% of the people out there. You've actually got city traffic and all kinds of crazy stuff to deal with, potholes and rain and slippery manhole covers and you name it. So living with a bike in the real world and giving opinions on it in a day-to-day are quite different than a quick test ride. My auxiliary brake lights are coming in today. I'll throw a picture up here. They're Denali switchback auxiliary brake lights. I forget the model number, D3s, or I don't know what they are. Got those from Revzilla, and they shipped out last Friday, but they're still slow boating getting here. Figured they would be here in a couple days, but a little bit slow on the shipping. I had the tail of this thing apart last night to put those LED signals on, but it would have been an ideal time to install the auxiliary brake lights because they tie right into the existing wiring there. So I'll be pulling the fender off of it again to install those lights. But they're saddle mounts. They go on the sides of the license plate. I haven't really looked too closely at the brackets, whether they tie into the bracket or if they're attached to the plate itself. I'll figure it out. But they're dual color red amber, so they have a running light function that's on red all the time, and just like your tail light. And when you hit the brakes, I don't know if they flash or if they just go bright red, but when you put one of the signals on, or both signals on, they switch back. They go from red to amber, and I don't know if they go amber and blank or if they're amber red. I'm not sure. We'll find out. But they're stinking bright, man. I love the Denali lights. I have a very similar one. It's the B6, I think, Denali auxiliary brake light that's a tag mount, but it goes on the bottom of the license plate itself. And I put that on the Super Cub during the Cannonball as an extra lighting, because my trailer was obscuring the tail light of the bike. And man, it's bright. It's brighter than the primary tail light by far, like 2 or 3 times as bright. There's no missing that thing. I love how smooth this transmission shifts. It's just barely any lever effort at all. It just snick, up, down, either way, no problem. It's very, very light. Very positive engagement too. I haven't missed a shift on this yet. This is one of my pet peeves. Big trucks in the left lane. Should be no trucks left lane because they have so much trouble accelerating up, they just block traffic. No trucks left lane. A lot of cities have that rule. Houston doesn't. I don't know why. I was shopping around for oil, for the oil change on this, and it looks like everybody's kind of settled on or recommending the MOTUL 5100 4T in 15W50. So the Royal Enfield owner's manual and service manual calls for 15W50 synthetic blend JASO MA2, I believe SL classification or higher. So I was shopping around trying to find something that fills the bill, and the full synthetics easily meet those specs, but it was hard to find a semi-synthetic or a synthetic blend, and I did a bunch of digging and found the MOTUL 5100 4T, and that looks like a good one. And in a lot of the forums, I noticed that people are also recommending that same oil, that they use that same stuff, so that's good. I found a good deal on it at Summit Racing and picked up a 4-gallon case of it, 4 1-gallon containers, and it was considerably less than buying the single containers. The singles for 1 gallon are usually around $54 to $58, something like that. The net price for each 1 gallon container was 36 or something like that, maybe 34, so considerable savings. It was $156 for 4 gallons of it, so that'll get me 24,000 miles worth of oil changes right there. I've got a bulk order of the oil filters coming in. They'll be here hopefully in the next couple days. But, you know, for the first oil change, I'm just going to pick up the parts over at Iron Supply, and if I need to pick up 2 individual quarts of oil from Cycle Gear or something like that, I'll do it. It's just kind of hard to find this 5100 4T. It doesn't seem to be in stock anywhere near me. I checked every motorcycle shop I could think of, and also you know, Cycle Gear and stuff like that, so it's all order out. I can get it from Amazon, but you know, it's $56 a gallon basically. So yeah, these tires dance a lot on these grooves right here at lower speeds. I'm still looking for my Michelin Road 6s, but nobody has them right now. They're out of stock everywhere. I wonder where they're produced. I haven't looked at the stamp on the side of the tires that I have, figure out where they're produced. I want to say they're Croatia or something like that. I need to get the toll tag for this thing so I can take the HOVs anytime. I don't know how that works, what the technicalities are with the HOV managed lanes, the KD managed lanes right here, because in Texas it's legal to ride HOV on a motorcycle anytime, day or night. But with these, they're only HOV a certain part of the day, and I think technically you're supposed to have your tag enrolled or have one of the little, you know, stickers, whatever, RFID tags, whatever they are, so they can identify you in the non-toll hours, or non-HOV hours, sorry, back when it's toll hours. So I don't know. I don't really want to run 75-80 with the rest of traffic over there in the HOV right now while this thing is still in break-in, so that's why I'm taking the main lanes and rubbing elbows with the crazy cagers. These mirrors don't offer quite enough field of view. That's why I like the CRG bar ends, that parabolic glass that they've got on there. It really gives you a very wide field of regard. Yeah, these tires drag and dance on these grooves. The Michelins don't, not at all. I'll park behind him to save a spot for the rest of the world. Okay then, I have arrived at breakfast. I will catch you all in a little while, maybe on my return trip this afternoon. We'll see.